We're live. We are
Live.
live. We are live. I am Casey Bowker, and with me is Ruben Romero. We are the creators of the Inferi series. So before we go live, which is in 2 minutes, I just got to send all these links to all of our social media.
We gotta share. We gotta share.
Gotta
share it up.
Oh my gosh. So copy link.
They should really give you like a pre-link. Like, hey, when you go live, this is what it's gonna be.
They should. Yep. They definitely should. And the other thing is like, oh, now I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you from two different spots.
Oh.
Share now, friends. No. Gosh. Hold on, Ruben. Give me a second here.
Man.
Go to the DFAT Entertainment page.
Yeah, no, I'm already there. I'm sharing the link already.
Oh, okay.
It's live.
I gotta make this public. We are live. Ruben and I are talking all about the Inferi Kickstarter that launches tonight. Leave a comment and enter for a chance to win an Inferi t-shirt.
Oh, look at that.
And more.
You can win a t-shirt.
And more. Possibly.
And more. Maybe.
It's a possibility.
It can definitely happen.
Anything can happen tonight, Ruben, if we believe in ourselves enough. So exactly you start talking though, because I gotta finish sending this stuff out. You talk.
Okay. All right. So yeah.
What's Inferi about, man?
So what's Inferi about? So Inferi deals with 3 Quantico students who are ready to graduate. They're ready to become FBI agents and go out into the field, into their respective careers. And the only thing standing in their way is a final that's more so a test to kind of subvert the actual final that the professor gives, in this case being Professor Abel. And he pretty much uses this cryptos as kind of like a measuring stick for the people that he may want to bring into, his secret life, which is that of hunting mythological creatures and trying to stop this ancient monster family from coming back and taking control and putting all these other monsters under their thumb and using them for nefarious purposes. So luckily for Professor Abel, the 3 students, in this case being Jackson, Liam, and Nilam, do crack the cryptos, and they're quickly picked up by Abel and his friend Pix, who happens to be a pixie, and they're told about this world that's beyond their vision, through the fog, so to speak, all happening in the shadows, and they're presented an opportunity to use their specific skill set to help stop the monsters.
I feel like that's a pretty accurate description,
right?
Yeah.
I mean, I know the guys who wrote it, so
yeah,
I feel like I've got it down pat.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. So this story, let's give these guys a little bit of what's going on in this Kickstarter. Like, what can you expect? Because we're going to launch this thing by the end of the live show today, and you can be one of the first people to get on this new issue. But what can you expect from Inferi, the Kickstarter issues 1 to 2? You just gave us a little overview of issue 1. What can they expect in issue 2? What's going to happen?
So in issue 2, we're actually going to pull you back. Me and Casey, we pull a Tarantino on you. Okay, so we basically take you to that final point in issue 1 is where Abel presents the invitation. There's no answer given, or semi-answer, kind of. I don't want to spoil anything, but issue 2 kind of opens up. In terms of story, we go back a little bit. We go back in Abel's history and kind of figure out exactly how did Abel become, intertwined with this whole monster hunting shenanigans. So we go through Abel's history, and we find out that he was very much in love with his first partner, and I don't want to give too much away there, but we find out that the world is a lot like we know it, but there are a lot of monsters, there are a lot of things, different things going on, and Abel has kind of kept Abel and his partner have kind of kept those things at bay. And issue 2 kind of ends on a big high note in terms of story wise. We find something out that that could potentially kind of fracture our team maybe a little bit. This does deal with a lot of secrecy and things like that, because we are of course dealing with potential FBI agents. So they kind of, they live in that world of secrecy, and everybody doesn't need to know everything, the bigger picture. But in terms of the Kickstarter itself, we have the book itself, issue 2, obviously. Rodrigo Catraca is back. He has done beautiful work. If you check out the Kickstarter, you'll see quite a few of the pages there. PH is here on colors. Obviously, he just brings everything to life. You know it. And then we're gonna have a new letterer on the book. We're gonna bring on Mr. Dave Lentz. He's gonna come do our letters, and it's a beautiful book. And then we have a variant cover from Alexander. I'm gonna murder his last name. Malashev. All right, thank you, Casey. I didn't want to murder his last name. So yeah. Did. He's got a badass. He did a badass variant cover for us that pretty much just encapsulates all of issue 2, all of the big adventure and the monsters, and the partnership between Abel and his girl. So he brought the thunder with that. We're also going to have a version, a hollow foil version of that cover that you can pick up, which I think is going to be pretty sweet. I want to probably snag one for myself. And then in terms of extras, we're gonna bless you with some stickers. We're going to bless you with some postcard art. We're going to bless you with an action shot trading card. This specific one for this issue is going to highlight Abel and all of his punching power. And then we've got some great rewards like shirts. We've got some original art. We have a Zoom session between me and Casey. We can talk up comics. We can talk whatever you want, So yeah, man. I mean, we've got a really great campaign and a lot of cool stuff for people to get.
I'm excited. A couple of people are also sharing in this enthusiasm. We got Mike Tenner says, "What up, my dudes?" What up, Mike? We got Chris Walk who says, "Awesome guys, can't wait for the next chapter. Tell me there's a collector's tier like the Illusion Witch, which is Ruben's other comic." So. I don't know if we do have that tier. I'm gonna have to add that tier.
I think right now. I think right now we've got. I think right now what we've got is the Give Me Both, and then I'm pretty sure on that tier you can either choose to add on a hollow foil cover or just the basic Alexander variant there. So there's a version of it. There's not. I don't think there's enough covers for us to do a collector's tier. We decided to go with 2 covers on this. The basic cover A and cover B, and cover A is pretty badass too. I mean, it's actually really frightening. Like when we talked about like just that scene and what Abel is doing in that time frame of his life, it was very like we were talking about like the Punisher. Just like no holds bar. Like how would he react? What things would he do? And we were like, let's light somebody on fire. And I think Rodrigo definitely handled that cover. And then of course PH I think that was the first thing PH colored, right?
Yeah. That's how he got the job.
That's how he got the job.
We gave him arguably one of the hardest things to color in the book as a test, and he killed it. And he's now the colorist on Illusion Witch. He's the colorist on the Immortal Templar, which is coming out. So I mean, like he's
a colorist on the Agency, and
he's a colorist on Agency. So he's
if you're watching PH, you belong to us, right?
Yes.
Like that's all there is to it.
Yeah, he did a cover for Yeah, he did a couple other covers for me, actually, now that I think about it. So yeah, Paige
Yeah.
is our man,
Yeah.
Rodrigo's our man. So yeah, very excited for issue 2 because it is so different from the first issue. The people who have read it want more of Abel's story, and you know, at some point we'll give it to him, maybe as an annual or whatever the heck. But the future of this comic and the reason why this Kickstarter is so exciting, and for the next Kickstarters that come out, is that Inferi will be released as a second site publishing comic book in March of 2022. So, what is that going to look like, Ruben, as our published connoisseur?
So, well, I don't know about that, but that's going to take a bi-monthly release schedule. So we're going to have an opportunity to continue doing our Kickstarters for Inferi, continue to build that world. And I think that now with the publishing deal, and knowing that those books are going to see comic book stores, now we have an opportunity to do things more like what Chris was talking about, right? Like do things more specifically for the collectors, because even though stores, you do get your variants and things like that. Usually in terms of small publishing, you might get a cover or two, depending on who it is, or what they're doing. So here on an avenue where we can control that, well, then now we can come back and offer exclusive content, like multiple covers that won't be released. They're not going to be used again through Second Sight. Anything that comes out on Second Sight will be for Second Sight. So that's one key factor I think is awesome. You also get it ahead of time, right? So these books are going to come out on a certain schedule. Our Kickstarters are going to be ran on a different schedule, and these books will be released ahead of those releases. So you actually get to see it before it hits the stores. So that's always a positive thing. I think, for me, I like to get things early. And then there's no telling what we might come back with in terms of rewards, like particularly for this Kickstarter. We're giving away some, or the rewards. We're doing some pages, some original artwork, which again, you're not gonna be able to walk into a comic book store and get your latest issue of Inferi and buy an original page, unless something like that has been purchased by that comic book store. So,
Yeah, I think though it's going to be a nice, almost symbiotic relationship that we're going to be having with Second Sight, because if you're a collector like Ruben and I are, some of these creator-owned comic books, it got bigger last year during the pandemic, where, Keanu Reeves and Matt Kent have Berserk, and it's like, here's these covers that you're going to get exclusive to the Kickstarter, but then you're also going to be able to get those individual ones in the stores. And I don't know, I did the same thing. I was like, okay, well, I'll also pick them up there. Same thing with like Scott Snyder stuff. So I think for a collector who's really interested in a brand, like this is totally different. You know what I mean? Like this gives you even more. And, I can't wait to see what it's going to be like when they're in stores and what those covers look like, because we haven't designed them yet.
Right.
So
we don't even know what they're going to be.
We don't even know. But, for the Kickstarter tonight and going forward, yes, we'll offer more tiers. We'll offer more exclusive things. And it's kind of nice, like, to get those T-shirts, original artwork, etc. That's getting offered here. So let's talk about, we talked about how PH has been like just instrumental in really kind of shaping things in the way that they look in the comics. Let's talk about Rodrigo's art though, because we were really happy with what he did for Inferi, the first issue, and which is, we said, okay, let's get you back for issue 2. I feel, and I think you would agree, issue 2's artwork, I'm not going to say it's night and day, but it is very accelerated. Like he came in as a freshman. He's at a sophomore junior level now here, with issue 2. What do you think about that?
No, I 100% agree. And I think it was one of the things that he mentioned very early on when he started working on Inferi 2. He told me, he said, I'm almost kind of embarrassed because of issue 1. And I was like, no, you're crazy. Like issue 1 looks great. He's like, yeah, but wait till you see what I'm doing. Right. And then he started to deliver pages. And there's a specific scene, there's a specific page that where I knew like this book is going to look completely different. And it's a funeral scene, and it's like there's like a couple of different panels laid out, and they're all the same scene, but it's like at different moments throughout that moment, right? And it's a raining day, so and like as the panels progress, the rain starts to get harder, and I just thought that looked so cool. Like I was just like, man, that is awesome. And of course he caps it off with this crazy, and like towards the end of the panel, just this crazy camera angle. And it's a very like, beautiful, sad moment. He encapsulates it all. Like he just all in one page, he laid it all out. So yeah, I would say definitely, dude, this guy definitely stepped his game up. And then that just makes me more like anxious for issue 3, because I just, we had a ball writing that one. Like that was a fun issue. And like, I just can't wait to see what he comes up with on issue 3.
So let's, which I completely agree with. Seeing the panels come back, what we had written, even more so, even more taking the words and bringing them to life in ways that neither one of us expected, but it was very welcome how we saw that stuff presented to us. But let's talk a little bit about the writing, because you touched on it here. So you and I write together, and we have a different sort of process than some other people I've written with, or just other people that I've talked to or read about, etc. And issue 2, we had an issue. We butted heads on a particular scene, which we can't ruin. But what's it like? Because you and I have our own series that we do, but like when we come together on Inferi and other projects, like what's it like writing with someone else? Your thoughts, and I'll tell you mine.
I think because it's our relationship, right? Like, I think in terms of working together, I think we're similar in a lot of ways, and then there's a lot of ways that we see some like story components differently and how they can be used. Case in point was this scene that we're talking about here that we're not going to ruin for anybody. But the funny thing is that it works both ways. Right, like it can work both ways, and I think that's the key ingredient for both for me and you and our relationship in terms of work, is that neither of us are ever wrong per se, right? One of us sees it one way and the other one sees it the other way. Ultimately, it gets us to our end game and our end goal, but there's different paths that we see that through. And when you're not writing with somebody, when you're doing it by yourself, there's usually I think you question yourself later on in the process. When you're writing with somebody else, the questions come a lot faster. The questions of plot device, story, character, all of those things begin to come a little bit quicker because you're actually working with somebody. So I write something down, I send it to you. You say, I feel like this guy would have said it like this, right? Because you also have a way that you want things to go. So I think it's for me, writing is always most fun in collaboration. I do enjoy writing by myself. Lately, I have been doing that more, but I do enjoy the give and go of collaborating with a partner. I'm almost interested in seeing what it would be to get 3 writers in a room on one book. I played with I did it with the agency loosely, but that was a whole other scenario.
Well, the
like
next
at the time
book
I was writing with my wife. You know what I'm saying? Like
the next book we have working on, we do have a 3rd collaborator, and actually that's been very fine. It's been great.
Right.
So yeah, I think one thing I want to say before I'll add in my comments is we do have a giveaway right now. So anyone who leaves a comment gets entered in for a chance to win an Inferi shirt. So we have an extra here. Actually, might have some extras also, Ruben, now that I'm thinking about it. But anywho, maybe some extra goodies as well. So leave a comment, whatever the comment may be, in the section. We'll have this up for a couple days, so we'll probably pick a winner at like the end of the week or something. Just to give a chance to the people who are
coming in late.
Coming in late. So how do I get this banner off? Sorry, guys. These things are crazy. All right. So Hector said, how did that dispute resolve? And who's that third collaborator? Ha ha. So so for this particular scene, we did a poll. We had a bunch of other people read it, one way that I had written, the other way that Ruben had written, and then kind of basically picked the majority roles in that situation. But to your point, as far as like how the collaboration goes, I think I think what works for us in what I found has been really good for our collaborations is that we have to be excited. And if one of us isn't excited about an idea, then we either pass on the idea, or more often than not, we figure out a way to make that idea work that both of us are excited about. So even in Inferi, that has come up. Like you said, both of the ideas for this particular scene were right. But we had to both feel happy with how it was going to turn out. And, in this other project that we're working on, Ruben wanted to give up, and I thought the idea was too good to give up on it. So I said, let's do this, man. Like, let's figure out how to make this work. And then once we both were on the same page and we both looked at the idea and we're like, okay, we're fired up, then we're on the right track, and writing is a lot easier. The collaboration process is a lot easier. We can go back and forth with each other on ideas. And, at that point, it comes more down to, how do I say this? Like, cutting back on the amount of ideas. And even in Inferi, the decision to take episode 2 or issue 2 into the past and learn more about the professor and not really focus on the 3 students who we did in the first one, like, there's a reason for it. It serves the story, but I think you and I both were like, wow, like, we haven't really seen this done in a way before in comics. And I think this really is a lot of fun, and it's really going to make the reader going in from 1 to 2 and then 2 to 3 being so different again. I think it's just really exciting, and at least we're excited about it. So we hope the readers
right.
Like
it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. And I think, that collaboration, give me a shirt. Love you. We love you too, Hector. And to answer your question, Casey won. Casey won, and because that's what he wants to know. He's like, hey, who won that one? And Hector, you're the collaborator, man. Stop asking questions you know the answers to. Damn. Yes. And we can't wait to talk about that project. But anyway, back to Inferi. Yeah, like, and that's another. Yeah, like, you bring up a really good point. Like, issue 3 is a whole other, like, throughway. Like, it's a whole other lane in terms of, like, yeah, we pick back up with the students and things like that, but just like the race that we send you on, the minute that you open the issue is just it's kind of a break your neck speed, but at the same time we're giving you a lot of information. So and knowing that this is now on Second Sight, I think it kind of gives us almost like a bravado, right? Like almost a validation, like, to go in as well, like, with, to kind of touch on your being excited point. I think that when we're both excited, obviously we get the best work and the best ideas. So knowing that it's also going out into comic book stores, that gets me amped up. Like, I get fired up for sure, thinking about other people discovering this outside of our circles and outside of the, general people who might stumble across it on Kickstarter or whatnot.
Yeah, exactly. So this Kickstarter, Ruben and I cut our teeth on Kickstarters, and we'll continue to do so. You know what I mean? Despite probably, or in addition to getting published deals, because Ruben also, if you guys didn't know, has another comic out there coming out next year from Behemoth, which is his Illusion Witch. And I think the thing about the Kickstarters for us is that we've built a following at this point. Which
a small one. I got I got this one dude in Malta. I don't know. Can we look up where Malta is? Somebody comment and look up.
I think it's somewhere beautiful.
Okay. Yeah. No. I mean, just the word. It sounds like, well, Malta's a drink in Spanish too, which is quite tasty. But this is the country. But this guy's always there. This guy's always there. And you know what? Like as a creator, and I don't know, you know, maybe Mike's still watching or maybe not, because he's a bum like that. But like other creators, I'm sure they'll comment if you watch this video through and through. In this case, like as a creator, like it's so cool. Like, yeah, your friends, like I don't want to say you expect it because you just never know. But like your friends, it's like, okay, cool. Like you're my boys. You're supposed to. Family, same thing. You're like, okay, well, you know. But like when you start seeing strangers' names like constantly come up and the same people over and over again, you start to develop these relationships. Like I posted that picture from Rob Holler the other day, you know, and he got his first book, The Agency One, at New York Comic Con where we met. Yep. And he's been with me since then. And he posted a picture of like all of the agency collection and the Illusion Witch stuff and like the shirts and all the art. And it just like, it hit me so hard that it's like,
yeah,
this isn't my brother. This isn't my family member. Like this isn't a real friend. Like, yes, we've become acquaintances and friends since then, but like, this is somebody who has followed my career. Right. And it's like, I don't know. It sounds stupid, I guess, but I don't know. I think I would assume you feel that way too, right? Like, seeing people back hollowed come back for hollowed, you know, it gives you that feeling like you're actually like making strides and really building a fan base.
Exactly. Yeah. Noel says Malta is in the Mediterranean off of Italy, France. So yeah, it's beautiful. Malta is south of Italy. So Manny says that. So yeah, absolutely. And I think that's why we enjoy doing these Kickstarters, is that you almost feel a duty to service the people who got you to where you are. You know what I mean? And even if we end up doing more published, you know, gigs, which we hope we do, you know, publish more comics and get our name out there more, it's still really nice to connect with the people who got us that opportunity to begin with, because if people didn't show up for the first Inferi Kickstarter, they, you know, it wouldn't be showing up in March 2022 at a comic book store. So
exactly.
So this guy in Malta, you know, I like you said, I got the same names on Hollowed, where, you know, people that have followed the last 4 Kickstarters and they keep coming back, and I'm okay with that.
Exactly.
I'm absolutely happy about that. Yeah. So Hector says it's not stupid at all. Really freaking dope. So yeah, thank you. It's just it's absolutely, it's humbling, you know.
It is.
It's humbling to even have people in this chat, you know, who are following along, and you know, we hope you guys get excited as well. So let's launch this baby. What do you think?
Yeah, let's do it. Look, as a matter of fact, get people excited.
I can't do
it. Look, guys, this is available. All right, it's the inked cover for Inferi 1. Yeah, that's the original cover right there. We've got that as a reward. We've got a beautiful pencil page, a Harpy page, no inks, but still pristine pencils. As you can see, Rodrigo put a lot of love into this. And then we have a double splash page that I'm not going to hold up because it's going to be awkward. But then we have another splash page of Liam cracking the cryptos.
Nice.
And then we have this. This is probably like when he sent this page, when he first sent it to us, I was like, this is ridiculous. And it's like I don't even like, you know, like, look, there's the first panel captain on the ship. He's like, you know, he's having a good day, you know, and then like he's like, oh, what the tits? And then his buddy gets smashed through the window, and then here comes like this goon Harpy, and like there's his buddy, you know, half detached from his other half of his body, and like the captain's just like, he's not having a good day. We didn't get his pants because he crapped them, so we didn't want to show that. But yeah, no, seriously, guys, we're gonna launch this thing. I'm gonna step here. Hold on, give me a second. I'm gonna go ahead and jump here, and
I'm gonna give you a slight drum roll.
Slight drum roll, please.
And once you do it, I'll drop the link in the comments. So if anybody wants to be one of the first people to pledge for Kickstarter of Inferi issues 1 and 2, with more to come.
2022.
we have March issue number 1 dropping from Second Sight. So more to come, guys.
And shout out to Second Sight, right? Because we're talking about, you know, minority-owned business, African-American owned business, all people of color in terms of creatives. Like it's, you know, it's just a beautiful situation for me and Casey to end up there. And you know, shout out to Marcus for really, you know, showing that. Showing love, man. I don't even got words, really, to be honest with you. And for the publishing house to just be very open with us and allow us to continue to do these Kickstarters so that we can connect with our fans on one level and connect with them on another level through Second Sight. So we appreciate all of that. So here I go. I'm gonna hit it. I'm gonna launch now.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3, go. It's going.
1, 2, 3, go.
Drum roll. Boom! Your project is live.
Let's
go, guys. We got 24 days. 24 days to raise 4K. We'd really appreciate you guys to, if you would back it, find the tier for you, and back it. And if you can't back it, which is understandable, share it on Twitter, share it on Instagram, share it on Facebook. If you're like at a restaurant, go into the booth behind you where the people are talking. If there's a mask mandate, put your mask on and let them know about Inferi. If there's no mask, you can just tell them about it and just be like, you like comic books. What I do,
we've already got a pledge.
We've already got a pledge. All right.
Who's number 1?
Who's number 1?
Number 1 is Mike Tenner.
Mike Tenner.
Oh my gosh! And
maybe he's not a bum after all.
He's not a bum.
He's not a bum. We love you. We love you. He's like, yeah,
we love you, Mike.
He knows I love him. He knows that he ain't no bum. That man's a hard worker. That man's a hard worker and an amazing creative. And I'm surprised he doesn't have a Kickstarter running right now because like he usually has one, so that we'd be able to plug his right now.
Exactly.
Do you have a Kickstarter link for us, Mike?
That's it,
anything?
Mike. Also,
Kieran.
Kieran, thank you. Chris Walk, thank you. Everybody so far, you know, that's coming, and we're just very, very excited about this next launch. And you know, I had a fun story that I was going to tell, and now I don't remember what it is. Oh, real quick. My story was about the first time that we launched Inferi. I hit the launch button and we were not ready to launch. Similar to what you did with the first
with the agency. No, the agency.
Was it agency?
Was it the agency or it was the agent? Was it the Illusion Witch? I wasn't.
One.
I know it was one of them. I was like, no, I'm not ready. I wasn't ready.
Yeah, and then you were like, oh, I guess I'm doing it.
Guess I'm doing it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Chris Fox says, give me the foil. You're getting that foil, Chris.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be so shiny. Like you don't even know how shiny it is.
You will
like when you open up
beard
the Gemini box, it's gonna. You remember like the gold glow in is it Pulp Fiction where they open up the brief? Yeah, that's how it's gonna. You're gonna open up the Gemini mailer. You know, you're gonna read your name that my girl's probably gonna write. You know what I'm saying? With a little heart on it, and you're gonna open up the Gemini box, and it's gonna glow, Chris.
Manny says it was Illusion Witch as well.
It was Illusion Witch. Manny knows. Manny's my dog. That's I used to, you know, funny story. I used to skip class with Manny, right? And we wouldn't go anywhere. We would just walk through the halls, right? Because it was like that kind of like we were that bored, right? And in our school, a lot of the teachers used to keep the doors open in their classrooms, right? And Manny made it a habit while we were skipping class is we would walk by the door like we would pass it, like we were past the class, and then he would grab the door and he'd slam it as hard as he could, right? Like and we'd take off running. And we did this so many times that eventually one time we were in homeroom, we were hanging out, and over the loudspeaker, the principal came on and was like, listen, whoever's going through the hallway slamming doors, please stop doing that, you know? So it was one of those moments where we just looked at each other. We were like, yeah, you know, it's high school. You're like, you made it.
You made it.
Yeah, you made it. you made it. It was, but yeah, me and Manny have been running away from slamming doors for a long time. But so Manny's a partner in crime, so we can trust him. If he says it was Illusion Witch, It was Illusion Witch.
We got it. Ruben, any last thoughts on the campaign? Anything else you want to say to the backers? What do you want them to know about the Illusion Wish issues 1 and 2?
You mean Inferi?
Oh, geez, Inferi. We just kept talking.
I mean,
about
if you want to plug the Illusion Witch, I mean, no, Inferi, it's fun. Me and Casey, we've got it mapped out. We know where it's going. We know how much fun this is going to be, what kind of highs and lows we're going to take you through, and if the campaign says it, the video says it, but if you're a fan of like Supernatural, American Gods, Indiana Jones, or National Treasure, things like that, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, you're gonna love this, man. We're it's, you grab your popcorn, or maybe not because you don't want to smudge the pages, but like it's like an action movie. It's gonna be a great action movie filled with monsters and really cool twists and turns. I don't want to give away too much. We got so much planned.
You say that, but yeah. Issue 2 is super emotional, dude.
It is. No, but but if you've read, speaking of the Illusion Witch, and also with you, we know that if we can get you to feel sad or bad, then we know we're going to be able to make you feel good and hyped up for certain things. So yeah, like we want you to go through, we want you to know who these characters are, and I think it's important. And if you're not feeling anything when you're reading through comics, then is it really a good comic? I mean, I don't want to, I'm just saying, I don't want to start an internet war, but I feel like the story should elicit some emotions, right? So that's what we're going for, people. But yeah, and then other than that, just keep an eye out, people, because this isn't the only thing me and Casey are doing, and we've got a lot of plans, and you're going to hear a lot about them before the end of the year. But just for the meantime, guys, back Inferi. If you can't back it, share it, and if you have backed it, thank you. We love you, and that's it. That's all I got.
All you got. Thank you guys for checking it out. Chris Walk wants to invoke those feelings from the 90s. Of course he does. Of course we all do. And
yes.
Thanks, everybody. We are very excited. We will give you all the updates constantly for the next 25 days during the Kickstarter run. But thank you very much. We will see you on the Kickstarter page. All right.